again, I would suggest to you that what Jeremiah is saying is that these formal acts of ritual, which, by the way, whether we want to admit it or not, all peoples of the ancient world had temples. Everybody had a temple. Everybody had many temples, and they offered sacrifices there. They offered burnt offerings and whole offerings and well-being offerings and grain offerings and all sorts of offerings. There's nothing particularly uniquely Israelite about a temple and offerings in it. And perhaps the prophets are saying to us, yeah, okay, you have these practices, but there is a sort of I don't know, maybe a pagan element here. Everybody does it, but you have some other unique responsibilities. One is a total loyalty to your covenant with Yahweh, with the God of Israel, and also your responsibility for social justice. And I want to just say one more thing about that, because there is a psalm, Psalm 78. We did not read this psalm, but I think it's worth taking a look at, because, again, it shows us what I've been trying to teach here all along, is that the Bible is not monolithic. It's not a univocal work. There's not just one voice in the Bible. There are many voices. There are many voices. There are many approaches to how people understood the nation, leadership of the nation, the responsibility of the nation to God, their covenant relationship to God. There's not one voice there. There are many voices. Contrary to what Jeremiah is saying, in Psalm 78 rehearses all of the sort of shortcomings of the people throughout their history. And then he gets this psalm, which is, is ascribed to, one of the Maskil of Asaph, one of the singers in the temple. If you get to verse 67, it says, He, God, rejected the tent of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim. Remember, Joseph and Ephraim are just other names for the kingdom of Israel. But he chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loves. Mount Zion is another name for Jerusalem, or even the temple itself. He says he built his sanctuary, that is the temple, like the high heavens, like the earth, which he has founded forever. He chose his servant David, and he took him from the sheepfolds, from tending the nursing ewes. He brought him to be the shepherd of his people, Jacob, of Israel his inheritance. With upright heart he tended them and guided them with skillful hands. So the psalmist here is saying something, I think, different than what Jeremiah is saying. The psalmist is saying, yes, God rejected that northern kingdom, Joseph and Ephraim, but God planted God's sanctuary on God's hill, the Mount Zion, and it will be planted there forever, suggesting perhaps that God would never do, contrasting that Shiloh sanctuary in the north with the temple in Jerusalem, and saying, yes, God maybe destroyed that northern temple, that Shiloh temple, or maybe one of the other temples in the north, but God would not destroy the temple in Jerusalem, and it has a special meaning for him. He built his sanctuary like the high heavens, like the earth, which he's founded forever, verse 69. So it seems that this is an image of yes, God rejected the northern kingdom and its sanctuary and its shrine, but God will not do that to his sanctuary in Jerusalem. Jeremiah comes along and says, and remember, Jeremiah is a Shilonite priest. He is a descendant of the priests that came from the north, and he said, well, you might think that, but it ain't necessarily so. If people do not remain true, if the people of Judah and Jerusalem do not remain true to their true obligations of loyalty to Yahweh and loyalty to social justice, that temple too will be destroyed, and indeed it was. And that ends my lecture for this week. Thanks very much. Bye.